Hello FLOSSTUBE, I am Jenny. Welcome to my channel, Stitching Jenny. This is my very first FLOSSTUBE and I'm really excited to be here. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and so I'm glad I'm finally taking the plunge and doing a FLOSSTUBE. So a little bit about myself. I live in northern Utah. I am married. My husband and I have been married for almost 19 years. It'll be 19 years next month. I have 3 girls, all different ages. I have a high school, a junior high, and an elementary school, and so they are so much fun and I love being a mom. I am a stay-at-home mom, and it's a lot busier than some people think. I have a lot of picking up and chores and errands and things like that. I've been stitching for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years next month, and it's kind of been an interesting journey, I guess, to cross stitch. I have 2 sisters who cross stitch, my oldest sister Melanie, and then a sister just older than me, Autumn. And Autumn tried to teach me when I was probably about 8 years old, and she got a kit and was trying to show me, and I think I got maybe 3 or 4 stitches in and was like, not my thing, no thanks. And then when I was 12 or 13, our youth group leader decided that she was going to teach us to cross stitch. And it was a terrible pattern. It was like a motif for our group, kind of a symbol that we used in our youth group, and it was so poorly drawn. It was a hand-drawn pattern. You couldn't see the graph in the background, and it had blended threads, and it had fractional stitches, and it was not a beginner friendly piece, and I hated it, and I couldn't figure out why my stitches kept coming unstitched, because she didn't explain that, you know, sometimes if you come up the same hole, it's gonna undo your stitch, and I couldn't figure out why sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't, and I was so frustrated. And the only reason I finished it was because my leader said that she would buy us a frame to go with it if we finished it. And so I did, because I don't know why a picture frame makes the difference, but I was committed to it, and I still have it somewhere. Maybe one day I'll pull it out. But then my oldest sister Melanie, she always was trying to get me to cross stitch. Probably for the last 5 or 6 years, she's been like, let me teach you to cross stitch, let me teach you. And I was like, nope, I hate cross stitch. I'm not doing it. Nope. And she was like, fine, okay. But she pulled out, she had just finished A Mysterious Halloween Town by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I loved it. I fell in love. I loved Frank and his bride, and he was so adorable. I wanted him, and I asked her if she would stitch it for me, and not knowing at the time how much effort and work went into stitching a piece that large. And she was like, nope, nope, but I can teach you how to cross stitch. I was like, nope, I'm done. Nope, I'm good. Then the next Halloween came around. I was like, oh, it's so cute. I would love you to stitch it for me. And she's like, I will teach you how to stitch it. And part of my hesitancy in the past was all those beginner kits by Dimensions were not cute, in my opinion. They were not something I wanted to spend that much time stitching. And she was like, well, this Frosted Pumpkin pattern that you love so much, it's very beginner friendly. You could totally do it. And I will kit it up. I will get everything that you need. And So finally, April of, I think it was 2018, so yeah, 3 years ago, I finally was like, okay, teach me. And I fell in love and have been cross-stitching ever since. And my favorite fabrics to stitch on are linen and even weave. 32 count, oh, it's my favorite. The coverage of it is just awesome. I love the look of it. And I just recently tried a 40 count with one strand of floss, and I'm really liking that as well. It's a little more eye strain, but I do really enjoy that as well. So there might be some more 40 counts coming. But I wanted to show you a previous finish, and it's actually my very first cross stitch that I'm claiming, and it is the Mysterious Halloween Town by Frosted Pumpkin. Okay, and this is my finish. And just to kind of go in a little bit closer, I'll take this off. I put it on with washers and magnets, like Priscilla and Chelsea from Stitching with the Housewives do. And my bow fell off, so. But this is the finish. And I absolutely love Frankie and his bride. They are the whole reason I stitched it. I totally fell in love with them. And this is stitched on 14 count Picture This Plus Ren with all the called for flosses. My sister started me even on variegated flosses because she had leftovers. So there's like black carriage and there's bubble gum, and so I jumped in kind of feet first on this piece. But I love it, and I loved that I could stitch a pumpkin and be like, yay, I have a finish. In case you couldn't tell, I thrive on finishes. That's what brings me the most excitement. And so all these little like pumpkins and the little scarecrow, they were all like mini finishes for me and made me so excited that I couldn't resist. And it just kept me going and plugging along, and I still am very much a finish driven person. I don't have many whips to speak of, partly because I like to finish, and having too many kind of stresses me out. But that's just me, and that may change. My sister makes fun of me all the time because when I first started stitching, I couldn't understand why anyone would have more whips than just one. Like, just finish it and move on. And now I have 7, and my sister laughs at me. So it is what it is. As far as finishes go, I recently, last week, finished this piece. It's called Bloom, and this is a freebie on Lizzie Kate's website. And I say that linen's my favorite, and the first 2 pieces I show you are on Ida. But this one I stitched on 14 count Ida as a piece to know how. So my neighborhood ladies asked me to teach a cross stitch over Zoom, teach them how to cross stitch. And so when I was kitting everything up, I needed to practice to see how much floss I would need to put in a kit. And so I stitched this up on the 14 count Ida. I used not the called for flosses, but similar colors in DMC, kind of whatever Walmart had, so that it would be a little bit cheaper. So this was my Lizzie Kate finish, Bloom. Then I finished my car project. My kids are in school. They are on shortened schedule, so they get out like an hour or 2 before they normally would. And my junior high and high school kids have Wednesdays off to do distance learning so that the teachers can, you know, help the kids that are struggling, as well as so that they can disinfect the whole school really well that day. So I still have carpool, and I always have a car project, and this was my most recent car project, and it is, let's see, it is called Snowflake #1 by Stitching the Night Away. And I stitched this with DMC 4020, a variegated floss. And I was really excited with how that turned out. But I only stitched on it for probably a half an hour at a time. So I really, it took me a really long time. I think I probably started this in November and just finished it probably 2 weeks ago. So that's another recent finish. I have kind of gotten bitten by the bag bug, and I decided I really enjoy having, so I'm more of a seasonal stitcher, and I wanted to have a bag for every season. And I just started a St. Patrick's Day piece, which I'll show you, and I needed to have a bag to match. And so I made this bag. And I like to have little charms that match, and this one's like a little clover charm. And I tend to make them also for my sister at the same time. And here is my bee bag to go with a bee cross stitch, and I have a bee charm. My husband just took up beekeeping last year, so I'm kind of getting into the bee cross stitch pieces. So, and then this is actually for my sister's birthday. She loves sunflowers, so her birthday is on Thursday. So this will be for her birthday, and it has a little sunflower charm. So those are my part of my finishes. And then for the first time, I decided, to try making mini bags. And the bag tutorial I use for my regular bags are by a YouTuber named Calico, and she is I believe a floss tuber as well, but she also has an Instagram account that's calico_whimsy, and her tutorial is amazing. So I am not a sewer. I don't sew, and my sewing machine I have is a gift from my mom because she didn't like it. She wanted a better one, so she gave it to me. So it's quite problematic. So it's very frustrating to stitch with or to sew with. And I loved this tutorial because I could take it step by step, very basic, switch it to this stitch length, switch it to this, here's a tip on how to sew with vinyl. She did a fantastic job, so definitely check her out. I'll link that video below as well as her Instagram. But what I did was I took the measurements from the regular bag and kind of shrunk it down to make a mini bag. So I have a little bee mini bag. And then my sister loves cats, and for Christmas I had made her a cat bag, and I used the leftover fabric to make her a mini bag. Then my sister really enjoys using a piece of Aida with some masking tape to write the symbol and put a bunch of needles in, and that's kind of how she stores her needles and that she's currently working with. And she also hates to thread needles, so she'll thread a bunch and have them all waiting, and she'll go just through all the needles. So I had the idea of coming up with like a needle book for her to kind of go along with how she likes to do it, and she loved it so much that I decided to make one for myself, as well as use the extra fabric from her Christmas present to make her another one. So that's what this is, and I will sew on a button and some elastic. I just bought the buttons, so I need to do that. But this kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like. So she uses masking tape and puts the symbol and then the needle. And this is great for projects that you have a lot of color changes, or if you're just wanting to kind of store it all in one place, put it in, throw it in your bag, and just kind of go. So I also have her cat one for her that I still need to sew the button on as well. So I need to do that because her birthday is on Thursday. So then I have a new start. My birthday was on Friday, so I did a new start for my birthday. I tend to like to do new starts on holidays and celebrations and things like that. So I pulled out, I'll post a picture of it here. And that is called New Start, or it's called Easter Mini The Greeting by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And this is how far I am. Let's see. Okay. And this is on fabric that I dyed myself. It was a very diluted purple Rit dye. And I am using mostly the called for colors. The one that I know for sure off the top of my head that's not is the yellow for the chick, is a Weeks Dye Works Banana Popsicle. Just because I wanted it kind of a variegated color. So I really like how that turned out. But this was a gift from Deanna, the designer behind Cherry Hill Stitchery. Yeah, had to double check to make sure I got that right. Cherry Hill Stitchery, and I'll link her shop below. But she has so many super cute things, and I'm really excited that she asked me to stitch this piece for her. Let's see, and next I have my whips, which are my works in progress. So this first one is my St. Patrick's Day piece. It is More Than Luck by Carriage House Samplings, and it uses a DMC variegated floss. You can kind of see that in some of these sleeves right here. And I also made these needle minders. They are made from just plastic coins in the St. Patrick's Day section. I just glued some magnets to the back and turned them into needle minders. They're kind of fun. And then I can use the rest to just use for decoration. I like to decorate for holidays, which is probably why I am so drawn to the seasonal pieces. But I love them. They're so much fun. So this is one of my whips. And then the next one actually is my oldest whip. This was my third piece I'd ever stitched and kind of got overwhelmed by it. It's a Dimensions kit, and it was just too much for my new stitcher brain to handle. So it got put aside for probably almost 2 years before I picked it up for Mania last year. I did kind of a whip mania with only a couple new starts, and really worked on my whips during the week, and then the weekend I would get a new start. Now I think it was Stephanie from Lindy Stitches that kind of came up with that idea, and I really like that because I again get stressed out by too many whips. But this is what it looks like. It's called A Kiss for Snowman, and it's a Dimensions Gold piece. And so I have been kind of working on it throughout the last year, and my most recent addition is this darker pink into the red all the way down into here. I would have been further along, but I had to rip out all of this and restitch it because I was off a stitch. So I finished that up and called it good for a while. So this, I love it, but again, I'm not a super big fan of the crunchy Aida, and so it's not as much fun to stitch on because of the Aida, and I still think I have a little bit of that trauma from trying to do it as a new stitcher. But I really love how it looks, and I'm looking forward to kind of moving on and back into the girl's face. So that'll probably come out to play again during Mania. Let's see. Next, I have some haul, and let me kind of show you. We'll just leave it over there. Okay, so I placed an order from Gina's Unique Needle Minders. It's Gina's Unique Boutique on Etsy is actually what it is. And this is her card. And I'll link her shop below. But I wanted to get some needle minders for my sister for her birthday. And I found this sunflower one, which is, again, totally up her alley. And of course, I also got her a cat one that it's looking into a fishbowl that's super cute. But she was having a rough day, so I gave it to her early. But while I was purchasing for her, I had to buy some things for me, because 2 needle minders coming alone would be super, super sad. So I got this Statue of Liberty Person of Color one that I think is so adorable. I got this flower one, and it has a little bee on there. So it will probably get kitted up with my bee project that I have. And I love cardinals. We do not have cardinals in Utah, but I love cardinals. I think they're so pretty and bright. So I had to get this cardinal. And this is originally what brought me to her shop, was this cardinal. And then she gifted me a free needle minder as well, which was so generous of her. And I was really impressed with how quickly she had that packaged up and ready to ship. It did take a little bit longer than estimated just because of the lovely USPS shipping right now. So, but it was great. Some other haul that I have is 123 Stitch is like 15 minutes from my house. Not that you can go shopping in 123 Stitch, but it's great to be able to pick up. They let you pick up your order so you don't have to pay for shipping. And we do have 2 LNS, local needlework stores, that are within an hour drive from me. One is Shepherd's Bush, that's the furthest, and then the one closer in more downtown Salt Lake is the Craft Center of Fine Stitchery. And they are both fantastic. If you ever need anything, feel free to call. Shepherd's Bush is amazing at color. And so if you have a piece that you need a fabric for, or you need to kind of do a color change, they are my go-to for things like that. But I love having 2 needlework shops and 123 Stitch next to me. But I typically do, unless I need to see it, do pick up from 123 Stitch just because they're closer, again, less than 15 minutes from me. But I did an order for my sister's birthday. I got her some Mill Hill kits, and I had to buy some of these cute sheep buttons that are from just another button company. I have a couple of pieces that I'm going to, instead of stitching a sheep, I'm going to put these buttons instead because they're my favorite. I think they're so cute. I have done a lot of Shepherd's Bush notes series, and they have a lot of sheep in there, and I just love them. My sister loves ordering from a company called mybobbin.com. I'll link it below. And they are fantastic. They are a Russian company, and you can buy reeless kits. You can buy all sorts of kits that are just fantastic. Their shipping is super cheap. It's only $5. And she actually got her Russian order before I got my order from California, just because of how USPS is right now. But when she orders, I typically will throw in a couple of things. And this is one that I got. It's cute little bunnies. And it's a full kit. It comes with the floss, the Ada, and it has a beautiful, you can sort of see kind of an idea of this colored chart. I just kind of wanted to show you an idea of what the chart looks like without showing enough to have it be like stolen. But that the Russian kits are amazing, so beautiful. They do a fantastic job. So I love ordering from My Bobbin with my sister. Again, another part of a 1, 2, 3 stitch order was Every Season Part 3, which is the summer of by Tiny Modernist. And I bought that. And then I just finished the winter Cricut collection piece, so I wanted to buy the summer piece. And by Cricut collection, I have Easter and winter done now, so I am really enjoying these, and I switched them out in the same frame, so it's very cost effective that way. So I have that I'll probably be starting in a couple months. And then for my birthday, one of my closest friends bought me the winter piece of the Every Seasons and most of the DMC that I need for that. They weren't all in stock, but she ordered that for me. So that was so exciting to get. It was very sweet of her, especially because she's not a cross stitcher, so it was very thoughtful of her to go look. Some other really quick kind of finishing haul that I got was from Walmart. Last week they had this really cute colored burlap ribbon. They have these cards of ribbon in the seasonal section that I thought would be great for finishing bows. And then they had some really pretty fat quarter fabrics. So this is a couple. Make sure I'm kind of in shot. So there's those two. This one with the animals, and this. And I thought those might be really pretty finishing fabrics, or I might make some masks out of those. I haven't 100% decided. I also dyed some fabric. So this is my fabric that I've dyed. This one is with purple Rit dye. This one is pearl gray Rit dye. And this one I believe was rose quartz. This one will be for the latest hands-on design Valentine freebie that she does for her anniversary. This gray, my plan is to stitch this love piece by Madame Chantilly. It's called My Love by Madame Chantilly. And I hope that my gray will work for that. And then my purple right here will be for this cute little bunny lamb, and it's called Bunny Lamb by Pepperberry Designs. So that's all of my haul. Let's my plans for this next week, probably 2 weeks. I'll probably film every 2 weeks since I tend to be more of a monogamous stitcher. I probably won't have a whole lot to show you for every week, so I'll try and do every 2 weeks. But my plans are to work on the Easter mini greeting and finish up also the Carriage house samplings, More Than Luck. Then I have several Easter pieces. I have a couple by the Pepperberry Designs. There's this one, as well as there's a chick in a bonnet. So those will probably be my next couple of starts. So anyway, thanks for tuning in again. All of the shops and pieces that I've worked on will be listed in the drop box below. Thank you for joining me. You can follow me on my Instagram account. It's the same, stitchingjennie, and I really have enjoyed being able to spend this time with you. Thanks. See ya.